God says, "My child, listen carefully, for what I am about to reveal will shake your soul, but it will also awaken the deepest corners of your heart. Your soulmate, the one you loved with every fiber of your being, the one whose absence has haunted your days and invaded your nights, their death was not an accident. It was not something that simply happened by chance or fate. It was a deliberate act, a shadowed plan executed by forces that sought to steal them from you, from your shared destiny, and from the love that was meant to flourish between your souls. I see the confusion in your mind, the pain in your heart, the questions that rise like waves in the stormy sea of your emotions. My child, I understand. I know the sleepless nights, the endless wondering, the haunting memories that refuse to let you rest. But know this, I am revealing the truth now, not to harm you further, but to awaken your spirit, to ignite the fire of clarity within your heart, and to prepare you for the path that lies ahead. Your soulmate's death was hidden in shadows, disguised as misfortune, perhaps even whispered to the world as an accident. But I tell you now, the forces that conspired to take them were deliberate, and their intentions were dark. They could not see the light that your love carried. They could not comprehend the bond that your souls shared. And so, they tried to sever it in secrecy, thinking that removing your soulmate from the earthly plane would erase your connection, would silence the love that they could not touch, and would leave your heart vulnerable and broken. Yet, my child, you must understand, love like yours is not bound by the physical realm. Even in death, even in the shadows of deceit and betrayal, your souls remain connected. And now, I am revealing what was hidden so that you may rise, awaken, and step into the power of truth. I am showing you the path to justice, the path to healing, and the path to divine understanding. I want you to reflect carefully, my child. Recall the moments leading up to their passing. The subtle warning signs that you may have dismissed. The uneasy feelings that whispered to you in quiet moments. Perhaps there were inconsistencies, unexplained events, or encounters with people whose intentions seemed unclear. Every moment, every instinct, every small unease was a thread in the tapestry of truth that I am now unraveling for you. Feel your heart now, my child. Do not turn away from the pain, for it is through facing the truth that your soul will awaken. Yes, the reality is harsh. Yes, it will stir anger, grief, and sorrow. But these emotions are not meant to break you. They are meant to awaken you, to sharpen your spirit, and to prepare you for the actions and understanding that lie ahead. There are those in the earthly realm who walk in darkness, who are blinded by greed, envy, or fear. They cannot comprehend the sacredness of the bond between two souls united in love and destiny. And it is these very forces that orchestrated the events that took your soulmate from you. But remember this, my child, darkness can never overpower light, and truth will always rise to the surface, no matter how deeply it is buried. I am calling you now to awaken your senses, your intuition, and your spirit. Begin to see clearly, without fear, without hesitation. The truth is being revealed to you not to torment your heart, but to strengthen it. I am showing you that even in the face of loss, even in the presence of injustice, you are protected, guided, and prepared. Your awareness is expanding, and with it comes the power to discern, to act, and to step into the divine plan that I have for you. My child, know this, the revelation of this truth is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your awakening. It is the first step in reclaiming the power that belongs to your heart and your soul. The forces that sought to harm you and your soulmate underestimated the strength of love that is rooted in divine purpose. They did not understand that I watch over the connections I have created, that I protect the sacred bonds, and that I reveal the hidden when the time is right. You may feel anger rising within you, my child, and that is natural. Anger is a signal of injustice, a flame that illuminates the presence of wrongdoing. But do not let anger consume your spirit. Let it guide you, sharpen your awareness, and strengthen your resolve. Know that I am with you, that I am the protector of your heart, and that the justice you seek is already moving through the universe, guided by my hand and by the laws of divine balance. Take a moment now, my child, and breathe deeply. Feel the presence of my spirit enveloping you, soothing your sorrow, calming your fear, and fortifying your courage. This revelation, though painful, is a gift. It is a gift of clarity, a gift of awakening, and a gift of preparation. You are being ready to step forward, to reclaim your power, and to embrace the path that leads to truth, justice, and divine restoration. I want you to understand fully, my child, that love transcends death, that the bond between your souls cannot be broken by mortal hands, and that even in the darkest moments, I am guiding you toward light. Your soulmate's departure, though orchestrated by those with ill intentions, does not diminish the sacredness of your connection. Your hearts are entwined eternally, and your spirit carries the memory, the essence, and the love of your soulmate forward with unwavering fidelity. And now, my child, listen carefully. The truth that is being revealed is the key to your liberation. It will allow you to step out of the shadows of doubt and into the clarity of understanding. It will allow you to see who the forces are that acted against your love and to discern the intentions that were hidden from view. And it will allow you to align your heart with my protection, guidance, and justice. The path ahead will require courage, my child. You will encounter moments when grief resurfaces, when anger challenges your peace, and when questions arise that seem too heavy to bear. But I am with you in every step. Your awakening is a sacred process, a journey of the heart and soul that leads you from pain to understanding, from confusion to clarity, and from sorrow to empowerment. Trust in me, my child. Trust in my timing. Trust in the divine plan that has always held your love, your soulmate, and your heart in its care. The truth has been revealed, and now you are being prepared to act, to heal, and to reclaim the sacred power of your spirit. This is the first chapter of your awakening, the moment when you begin to see clearly, feel deeply, and step forward with courage, faith, and divine guidance. My child, your soulmate's death was not an accident. It was a deliberate act, but it is also a catalyst for awakening, clarity, and the recognition of truth. Even though darkness sought to destroy your love, my light will prevail. Even though deceit tried to hide the reality, my revelation has come. And even though your heart has been wounded, my healing, protection, and guidance are now surrounding you fully. Do not shrink from the path of truth, my child. Do not fear the awakening that is occurring within you. Step forward with courage, with faith, and with the knowledge that I am guiding you every step of the way. The journey ahead will reveal more truths, restore what was lost, and prepare your heart to receive the justice, peace, and divine love that is your sacred inheritance. The story of your soulmate, though marked by loss and betrayal, is not the end. It is the beginning of your awakening, your empowerment, and your alignment with the divine plan that I have for you. Listen closely to my guidance, follow the whispers of your spirit, and know that every revelation, every insight, and every moment of clarity is a gift from me, a gift that will lead you to truth, healing, and ultimate restoration. Your heart is strong, my child. Your soul is resilient. And your love is eternal. The truth has been exposed, and now your journey toward understanding, justice, and divine blessing begins. Step forward with courage, for I am with you, guiding you, protecting you, and preparing you for the love, clarity, and peace that you deserve. My child, now that the truth has been revealed to your heart, you must prepare to look deeper. What happened to your soulmate was not a coincidence, and what you are feeling right now, the uneasiness, the tremble of realization, the weight in your chest, is your spirit awakening to what has been hidden for so long. There were forces at play, my child, forces that moved in silence and shadows. They wore faces you may have once trusted, voices that spoke gently, yet carried poison within. I saw how they smiled in your presence while concealing envy in their hearts. I watched how they walked around your soulmate with false kindness, pretending to support, but secretly wishing to see your love destroyed. You did not see it then, my child, because your heart was pure. You believed that love could heal even the hardest hearts. You trusted those who surrounded you both, thinking that everyone wanted your happiness. But not all hearts are pure. Some hearts grow dark when faced with light they cannot possess. And the love between you and your soulmate, that sacred, unbreakable bond, was light too bright for them to endure. You must understand this now. Your soulmate's passing was born of jealousy, greed, and deep resentment. There were those who could not bear to see your union, those who saw your shared energy as a threat to their control. They feared the strength of two souls united by divine purpose. They feared what your love could create, the healing, the abundance, the spiritual power that radiated from your bond. So they plotted, they conspired, and they moved in the dark while you were walking in the light. You remember, don't you, my child? The days before it happened, how your soulmate seemed distant, how they spoke of strange encounters, how they felt a heaviness they could not explain. That was their spirit sensing danger. That was my voice whispering through intuition, urging both of you to be alert. But when hearts are kind, they cannot easily see cruelty in others. Your soulmate trusted those who were not worthy of that trust. But now the veil is lifting. And I, your father, am showing you the faces behind the curtain. There were individuals, close enough to know your joy, close enough to sense your love, who could not tolerate the divine light between you. Some were driven by material desire, others by a thirst for control, and a few by pure envy. They thought that by removing your soulmate, they could silence your light. But they did not realize that I do not allow darkness to triumph forever. The truth, my child, has its own timing. It waits for the right moment to rise. I allow the wicked to weave their illusions only for a while, because in their arrogance, they reveal themselves completely. What was hidden is now being uncovered, piece by piece, sign by sign, moment by moment. There are things that will begin to make sense now. The conversations that once confused you. The lies that never felt right. The sudden changes, the accidents that felt too deliberate, the people who disappeared from your life right after your soulmate was gone. These were not coincidences, my child. These were clues. The truth was always near, you just needed the divine light to see it clearly. And that light is shining now. I am touching your heart with understanding. I am aligning your thoughts with wisdom. I am guiding your spirit toward revelation. Do not rush this process, my child. Truth unfolds in divine rhythm. It will come to you through signs, through dreams, through quiet realizations that strike deep within your heart. I will show you what you must see, not all at once, but in the perfect sequence, so your soul can bear it and transform through it. I know, my child, that this realization cuts deep. To know that someone you loved, someone you trusted, was betrayed, it is a wound unlike any other. But I want you to remember something sacred. I will turn this pain into power. Every tear you cry will water the seed of divine justice that I have already planted. Every breath you take in faith will call forth my intervention. Your soulmate's death was unjust, but their soul did not vanish into despair. They are with me now, at peace, watching over you. Their spirit speaks through signs, through the small moments that stir your heart. The chills that come without reason, the song that suddenly plays, the scent that appears from nowhere, that is them, my child. That is your soulmate's way of reaching out from beyond the veil, saying, I'm still here. I see the truth now. And I am waiting for you to heal. You are not alone, and you never were. I have placed angels around you, protectors who stand by your side in silence. When you walk through your house and feel a sudden warmth, when you sense a gentle touch in the stillness, that is my comfort reaching you. That is your soulmate's presence wrapped in divine energy. My child, the forces that hurt your soulmate think they escaped judgment. But I tell you now, justice is already unfolding. You may not see it immediately, but the universe moves in balance. What is done in the dark will be exposed in light. Every deceitful heart will face the truth of their actions. The ones who smiled in falsehood will watch as their own lies unravel them. For I am a God of justice, and I will not allow such cruelty to remain hidden. Do not seek revenge, my child. That is not your path. Your strength is not in anger but in faith. Your power is not in retaliation but in revelation. I will fight this battle for you. Your part is to remain aligned with my will, to pray, to stay grounded in light, to keep your heart open even when it aches. Because through that heart, I will bring transformation not just for you, but for all who wronged you. Let me handle what human hands cannot. Let me deliver the justice that mortal eyes cannot yet see. The ones who caused pain will face the mirror of their actions. The truth will be their undoing, and peace will return to your life in a way that no one can interfere with. And when that happens, my child, you will see how everything, even the tragedy, even the betrayal, was woven into a greater plan. For your soulmate's soul was not lost, it was elevated. Their passing opened a sacred gate, allowing you to awaken spiritually. The pain you endured has expanded your soul. You now see more, feel more, and understand more than ever before. I am preparing you for a new phase, one where you will walk not as the broken, but as the chosen. The truth is a heavy burden, but it is also a divine key. It unlocks your purpose, it awakens your gifts, and it connects you directly to the higher wisdom that will guide your future steps. You may feel moments of despair, my child. That is natural. Grief still lives in your heart like a shadow that refuses to fade. But each time it rises, remember this: your soulmate's energy is eternal. The love you shared still exists, moving between worlds. They are not lost to you. They are waiting, guiding, and helping you heal from beyond. And I, your Creator, am walking beside you in every breath, in every tear, in every heartbeat that still calls their name. The forces that tried to destroy you underestimated divine love. They thought they could silence destiny, but destiny cannot be killed. The bond one blessed cannot be erased by human schemes. What they ended in the flesh continues in spirit, and what they buried will resurrect in light. My child, the time is near when you will receive confirmation, something undeniable that will reveal the truth with clarity. It will come through an unexpected person, an event, or a divine sign that cannot be ignored. When that moment comes, your heart will recognize it instantly. You will know, this is God's hand exposing the hidden. Do not fear what is coming. You are under divine protection. Your soulmate spirit and my angels surround you like a fortress. No harm can reach you now. Only truth, healing, and divine justice will enter your path. Hold on to faith. Speak to me in prayer each night. Say, God, reveal what I need to know. Protect my heart and show me the truth. And I promise you, I will answer. Not through chaos, but through clarity. Not through pain, but through peace. The shadows are trembling, my child, for they know their time of exposure has arrived. The truth is awakening, and you are the vessel through which my justice will flow. Be still. Have faith. The light is rising, and it will reveal everything that darkness tried to hide. My child, God says to you now, open your heart and your mind, for the veil between the worlds is lifting. Your soulmate spirit has never truly left you. Though their body no longer walks in your world, their essence, their energy, their love, all of it remains alive, surrounding you, whispering to your soul. This is the sacred connection that death cannot sever, the eternal bond that no human hand, no dark intention, and no cruelty could ever destroy. I see your longing, my child. I see the nights you cried quietly, the moments you reached for them in your dreams, the hollow ache that refused to leave your chest. Your soul remembers them, every laugh, every touch, every glance shared with eyes that spoke in the language of eternity. And I tell you now, they are reaching for you, speaking to you in ways that are gentle yet undeniable, guiding you from the place of light where they reside. Do you feel it, my child? That sudden warmth in your chest, the soft shiver that passes down your spine, the subtle signs that appear when you least expect them? That is their presence. That is their love moving through the unseen, brushing against your spirit, letting you know that they are still here, always here, always with you. Do not ignore these signs. Do not dismiss them as coincidence. They are messages from a soul who still beats in harmony with yours. Your soulmate spirit comes to you not in chaos or fear, but in peace and guidance. They are freed from the limitations of the body, and yet their devotion remains as strong as ever. They cannot speak through words as before, but they communicate through energy, through intuition, through the whispers of the universe. A sudden song may play that reminds you of them. A scent may drift through the air that awakens a memory of love. A fleeting image may appear in your mind, vivid and real, urging you to look closer, to listen deeper, to feel more fully. These signs, my child, are not random. They are deliberate messages, carefully placed by the soul you love most, guided by me. They are meant to awaken you, to strengthen your faith, and to prepare you for the actions that will follow. Your soulmate spirit cannot rest fully until you know the truth, until you awaken to the justice that must be served, and until your heart finds peace in the knowledge that love transcends even the cruelest acts of darkness. Understand this, my child, their spirit is your ally. They are walking beside you in ways you cannot see with mortal eyes. They are guiding your steps, protecting your energy, and illuminating the hidden paths that were once shrouded in shadow. Every instinct that arises within you, every sudden clarity, every gut feeling, that is them speaking to your soul, helping you navigate the dangerous waters of deceit and betrayal that surround the truth of their passing. And now, my child, listen carefully. Your soulmate is showing you the signs of the ones responsible for their death. They cannot confront them directly, for the mortal world has limitations, but they are guiding your spirit to see, to understand, and to recognize the energies of those who acted in darkness. A glance from a stranger, a whispered word, a subtle action you once overlooked, these are the clues your soulmate leaves in your path. Watch carefully, feel deeply, and trust your intuition. Do not fear what you uncover, my child. You may feel anger, confusion, or sorrow, and that is natural. But know that every sign, every message, every subtle nudge from their spirit is meant to protect you, not harm you. It is meant to awaken the courage and discernment within you, so that when the time comes, you will act in alignment with divine justice, not human vengeance. Your role is to observe, to receive the guidance, and to walk steadily in faith, knowing that I am with you in every step. You may begin to notice moments when their presence feels almost tangible, a brush against your arm, a warm glow near you, or a whisper in the stillness that touches your heart. These are not illusions, my child. They are the proof of eternal love, the evidence that your soulmate's soul is active, aware, and deeply invested in your healing and your awakening. Each sign is a thread connecting your hearts across the veil, binding you together in ways that even death cannot unravel. Now, my child, let your heart receive this truth fully. The spirit of your soulmate carries wisdom from the other side. They are showing you how to step into your power, how to guard your energy, how to prepare for the revelations that will soon surface. They are guiding you to trust the messages I am sending, to discern the hidden forces, and to recognize the lies that were whispered by those who wished to harm both of you. You may feel moments of doubt, my child, wondering if these signs are real, if your soulmate is truly with you. That is understandable. The human heart struggles to accept the unseen. But I tell you now, if you quiet your mind, open your heart, and pay attention, you will feel their presence unmistakably. You will recognize the energy that is theirs, the gentle insistence that calls your name in love and urgency. Their spirit will not fail to reach you if you are willing to listen. And listen, my child, for their guidance comes with purpose. They are helping you uncover the truth, not just about their passing, but about the people and the circumstances that surrounded it. They are guiding you toward the understanding of who acted in darkness, who hid the signs, and who wished to see your love destroyed. Each revelation will arrive in divine timing, so your heart can bear it, so your spirit can receive it, and so you may step forward in alignment with my will. You may begin to sense a new courage growing within you, a subtle but steady strength that rises from knowing that you are not alone. Your soulmate spirit walks beside you, whispering reassurance, guiding your intuition, and comforting your heart. When fear or doubt rises, remember that you are held, watched, and protected. When sorrow threatens to overwhelm, remember that their love surrounds you, steady and eternal. When confusion clouds your path, remember that every sign, every intuition, and every dream is a message from both your soulmate and me, your God, guiding you forward. My child, this is the sacred moment when your soul begins to awaken fully. You are learning that death cannot end love, that the soul's connection is eternal, and that the truth of what happened is coming to light. Your soulmate spirit is returning to guide you, protect you, and prepare you for the steps that will restore your heart, reveal the hidden, and awaken divine justice. Do not rush, my child. Do not force the signs, do not demand clarity, and do not try to control the timing. Instead, receive their presence, trust the messages, and allow your spirit to align with the divine plan. Every subtle whisper, every fleeting sensation, every sudden insight is part of a sacred choreography that leads you closer to truth, healing, and reunion, not in body, but in soul, heart, and eternal connection. Finally, my child, understand that your soulmate spirit is patient. They are with you for as long as you are willing to see, to feel, and to listen. They are not gone, they are simply guiding, protecting, and preparing you. And when the time comes, you will act in wisdom, courage, and love, not anger or fear. You will see the hidden clearly, understand the forces at work, and walk in alignment with my divine justice. Your awakening is beginning in this very moment. Your connection to your soulmate is alive, vibrant, and guiding you toward the revelations, healing, and empowerment that are your sacred inheritance. Open your heart, my child, feel their presence, and trust in the eternal bond that death cannot sever. My child, listen to me now with the stillness of your heart. The time for revelation has come. You have walked through the valley of grief, and though the shadows have lingered, your spirit has not been crushed. You have endured sleepless nights, questions that tore through your mind like storms, and memories that burned your heart with longing. But I tell you, all of this has not been in vain. Every tear that fell from your eyes has been seen by me. Every cry that broke in your chest was heard in heaven. And now, the divine justice that was promised is awakening. The darkness that took your soulmate thought it had triumphed. The forces that plotted in silence believed they had escaped unseen. They thought that my eyes did not witness their deceit. But my child, I am a God of truth, and nothing escapes my vision. Even when they whispered in secret, even when they plotted in shadows, I was there, watching, recording every thought, every word, every act. And now, the very lies they used to destroy will become the weapons of their downfall. You will begin to notice it soon, the unraveling. Those who caused this pain will start to stumble over their own lies. Their peace will flee from them, their false confidence will crumble, and their hearts will know no rest. For when I move in justice, no darkness can hide. I do not need human hands to expose truth, I am truth itself, and I bring all things to light in my perfect time. You, my child, have suffered enough. You carried the weight of confusion, guilt, and sorrow, believing perhaps that you could have done more, said more, saved them somehow. But release that burden now. You were never meant to carry it. The actions that ended your soulmate's life were driven by hearts that rejected light. And though their intentions were hidden from you, they were never hidden from me. I watched as they conspired, their motives tangled in greed and jealousy. I saw how envy burned within them because they could not stand the love between you and your soulmate. They feared your unity, your strength, and your destiny. And so, they sought to destroy it. But what they didn't understand was that your love was born of divine design, and anything born of my hand cannot be destroyed, only transformed. My child, divine justice is not like human justice. Human eyes seek punishment, but I seek truth, correction, and balance. What was taken from you will not be returned in the same form, but it will be restored in higher ways, through peace, through purpose, through divine recompense. I will raise you from the ashes of this pain and use your story as a light for others who suffer in silence. The truth that was buried with deceit will rise, and through you, many hearts will awaken to my power. The ones who hurt your soulmate will be brought face to face with what they did. It will not be by your hand, but by mine. Their masks will slip, their secrets will surface, and their peace will flee like dust in the wind. For the universe bends toward justice, and I am the force that bends it. Do not seek vengeance, my child. That road belongs to darkness. Instead, stay still in faith. Let your trust in me be your weapon, your peace, your shield. The pain they caused will return to them in ways that reveal their guilt to all. They will watch the walls they built out of lies collapse upon themselves. And when that happens, you will know, the hand of God has moved. You may not need to say a word. Truth has a voice of its own. I will speak through events, through timing, through undeniable revelations. The same world that believed the lie will witness the truth. And you, my beloved child, will walk in freedom. Do you feel it, my child? The shift that is happening? The heaviness that once filled your heart is beginning to lift. The darkness that clung to your spirit is dissolving, because my justice is not just about punishment, it is about restoration. It is about setting your soul free from the grip of sorrow, about giving you the strength to live again, to trust again, to love again. For a time, it may seem quiet. You may not yet see all that is happening. But behind the scenes, I am working. I am aligning hearts, revealing evidence, awakening consciences. The ones who thought they were untouchable are being exposed by their own actions. The ones who betrayed your love are losing the false stability they built. Nothing escapes my divine order, and no sin remains unexposed forever. My child, you have wondered why I allowed such pain. I know those thoughts that echo in your heart. You asked, God, why did you let this happen if you saw it all? And I say to you now, because your pain would not be wasted. Your tears are seeds of transformation. I have used what they meant for harm to shape you, to strengthen your soul, and to prepare you for your divine purpose. What they destroyed in the flesh, I am rebuilding in the spirit. What they took, I am returning multiplied, in peace, wisdom, and light. Your soulmate spirit has not stopped moving beside you. They see what I am doing now. They are not bound by the sorrow of their departure. They are part of this justice unfolding. Their soul rejoices in the truth that is being revealed. They are whispering to you, it's happening. Stay strong. The truth is finally coming out. You may soon receive confirmation in a way that leaves no doubt. A truth will surface that no one can deny, a confession, a message, an event that exposes everything. And when that moment arrives, your heart will shake, but not in fear. It will tremble in recognition that I have kept my promise. Justice delayed is not justice denied, my child. My timing is never late. It is perfect. The darkness believed it had silenced you, but you are still here. The grief tried to break you, but you are rising. The lie tried to bury the truth, but the truth is breathing again through you. Every part of your pain has been seen, every cry has been written into my plan, and every injustice is now being addressed by my unseen hand. Your soulmate's love is your armor now. Their energy wraps around you like a divine light. When you walk into rooms that once felt heavy, their spirit clears the air. When your heart begins to ache, their warmth steadies it. They are helping you hold faith while my justice unfolds. You are not alone in this fight. Heaven itself stands beside you. And hear me, my child, once this truth is fully revealed, once the forces that caused this pain have been brought to light, I will give you rest. You will no longer be haunted by unanswered questions. You will no longer carry the burden of injustice. You will finally exhale without pain. You will see how I turned tragedy into transformation, and how I made you stronger than you ever imagined. The light of truth is unstoppable now. It is moving through time and hearts, dissolving the lies that once held power. I am clearing your path of deceit, washing away fear, and preparing you to walk in a peace so deep that it will silence the noise of your memories. Forgive, my child. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Let go of the bitterness that tries to stay. Release the need for answers and let me complete the work. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting what was done, it means trusting me to handle what you cannot. Justice is mine, and I have begun it. You will see it unfold in my divine rhythm. And when it is finished, the world will know, I was always with you, I never left, and I never will. Rest in my promise, my child. Truth is rising. Justice is unfolding. Your soul is safe. And soon, peace, the kind that only heaven can give, will dwell in your heart forever. God says, my child, now is the time to feel the fullness of my presence. You have walked a path shadowed by grief, betrayal, and unanswered questions. You have felt the sharp sting of loss, the heaviness of sorrow, and the deep ache that comes when someone you love is taken from this world unjustly. But my child, the path you have walked has not been in vain. Every step, every tear, every sleepless night has led you to this moment, a moment of healing, a moment of awakening, and a moment where the promise of peace becomes real in your heart. The truth has been revealed. The darkness that stole your soulmate has been exposed. The lies that tried to cloud your vision have been lifted. You have walked through the valley of shadow, guided by my hand, feeling the whispers of your soulmate's spirit as it reached through the veil to comfort, guide, and strengthen you. And now, my child, it is time to rest in the knowledge that justice has begun, that your heart is being restored, and that your spirit is being healed. I want you to close your eyes and take a deep, steady breath. Feel the warmth of my light enveloping you. Feel the energy of your soulmate's spirit surrounding you, steady and unyielding. They are with you now in ways that the eye cannot see, but the heart can feel. Every heartbeat of yours resonates with their presence, a reminder that love transcends the boundaries of life and death. It has always been eternal, and it will always remain unbroken. My child, healing begins when the heart recognizes that the soul's bond is eternal. No act of betrayal, no act of cruelty, no act of darkness can sever the connection that I have blessed. Your soulmate spirit rejoices in your awakening, in your courage, in your readiness to embrace the truth, and in your willingness to step into peace. They are with you, whispering encouragement, wrapping you in comfort, and guiding your spirit to a place where sorrow no longer dominates your days. Release, my child. Release the weight you have carried. Release the anger, the guilt, the fear that tried to hold you down. Let it flow out of your heart like water leaving a vessel. Let my light fill the space that was once heavy with grief. The healing I offer is complete and divine. It is not a partial mending, it is a restoration of your soul, your mind, your heart, and your spirit. You may feel residual pain, and that is natural. The human heart remembers deeply, but my child, each time that memory surfaces, let it be a gentle reminder of what was overcome, not what was lost. Let it remind you that you survived, that your spirit endured, and that the bond with your soulmate has grown stronger in ways you cannot yet see. Every challenge, every trial, every moment of darkness has forged a resilience within you that will guide you forward into a life of purpose, love, and divine connection. My child, now is the moment to understand the sacred promise that I bring to you. The promise is this: the love you shared with your soulmate is not over. It is transformed. It is elevated. It is beyond the reach of human interference. The soul that you cherished, the presence that you mourned, continues to walk with you, speak to you, and guide you. Their spirit will continue to bring signs, visions, and messages that remind you of the eternal nature of your bond. As you heal, my child, you will begin to notice a lightness in your steps, a calmness in your thoughts, and a warmth in your heart that you have not felt since before their passing. That is the energy of restoration. That is the proof that the divine promise is at work. The peace that you have sought, the closure that you longed for, and the freedom from sorrow that you prayed for are arriving now. Your spirit has been prepared, my child, to walk fully in this new chapter. You will carry the wisdom of your journey, the strength born from grief, and the clarity that comes from divine revelation. You will see the world with eyes attuned to truth, your intuition sharpened, your heart steady in its capacity to love without fear. And through this journey, you will become a light for others, a beacon of hope, a witness to the power of divine justice, and a living proof that love endures beyond the boundaries of life and death. Remember, my child, every tear that fell, every moment of despair, every night of questioning and longing has been part of your growth. It was not wasted. Your soulmate spirit, now free and radiant, celebrates your courage and your awakening. They are proud of your heart, your faith, and your resilience. And as you move forward, you will feel their presence in ways that inspire, protect, and uplift you every single day. This is the divine promise, my child, that love does not end with death, that truth will always rise, that justice will never be denied, and that your spirit will be restored to peace. You are held, always, in my arms. You are guided, always, by my wisdom. You are watched over, always, by the eternal presence of your soulmate and my angels. As you step forward from this moment, let your heart be free. Let your mind be clear. Let your spirit be unburdened. The pain of the past has served its purpose. It has brought you to awakening, it has prepared you for divine justice, and it has strengthened the bond of love that even death could not destroy. Your journey continues, my child, but it will now be guided by clarity, protection, and divine love. You will begin to see signs of blessing in your life, opportunities, guidance, and synchronicities that affirm my presence and the ongoing connection with your soulmate. Each sign, each moment, each gentle reminder will be a whisper of my promise that all is well, and that all will be revealed according to my perfect plan. Do not fear the future, my child. The shadows that once clouded your path are gone. The darkness that tried to take your love has been exposed. Justice is in motion. And peace, the deepest peace of your soul, is returning to you now. Your soulmate spirit will remain with you, guiding, comforting, and celebrating your life. Their presence will be a constant source of courage, hope, and joy. Hold on to faith, my child. Speak to me often in prayer. Thank me for the truth revealed, the healing received, and the love that never ends. Let your heart be a sanctuary of light, where the memory and spirit of your soulmate dwell in harmony with your own. Allow the restoration of your soul to flow fully into every aspect of your life, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, and your dreams. And finally, my child, know this, the story that once brought pain now brings awakening. The loss that once felt unbearable now becomes a testament to the eternal nature of love, the power of divine justice, and the certainty of my promise. Your soulmate's death was not the end, it was the beginning of your spiritual awakening, your alignment with truth, and your reception of divine peace. Rest now, my child. Heal fully. Love deeply. Trust endlessly. Your soul is whole again, your heart is open, and the connection you share with your soulmate transcends all boundaries. I bless you with peace, protection, and the eternal presence of love, a love that death could not take, darkness could not hide, and human hands could not destroy. You are free, my child. You are loved. You are guided. And your journey forward will be radiant, filled with divine light, and watched over by the eternal bond that connects your hearts forever. God says, "My child, come closer. Be still for a moment. Take a slow breath, because what I am about to reveal may have already been touching your spirit without you knowing why." Last night, while the world around you was sleeping, while lights were turning off one by one and silence was settling into the streets, something shifted in the unseen. A truth that had been hidden behind ordinary walls, polite greetings, and familiar routines finally stepped into the light. Someone who lives right next door to your soulmate could no longer carry the weight of what they knew, what they did, and what they allowed to grow in the dark. Their heart raced, their hands trembled, and their voice broke as they confessed to the police. You felt something, didn't you? A strange heaviness. A sudden uneasiness without a clear reason. Or maybe the opposite, a quiet feeling like something old was ending. That was not your imagination. That was your spirit responding to truth rising. My child, I want you to hear this clearly: you were never abandoned, you were never unprotected, and you were never unaware in my eyes. Even when you didn't know what was happening next door to the one you love, I knew. Even when you questioned why delays kept happening, why misunderstandings appeared out of nowhere, why the connection felt strained without a visible cause. I was already standing between you and what was meant to harm, confuse, or delay you. The neighbor you never noticed much. The one who waved casually. The one whose door was always just a few steps away from your soulmate's life. They were closer than you realized, not just physically, but in awareness. They heard arguments that were never meant for them. They noticed patterns they were never invited to understand. And instead of turning away, instead of respecting boundaries, something unhealthy began to grow inside them. Curiosity became obsession. Observation became interference. Silence became complicity. But hear me, my child, nothing grows forever in the dark. This confession did not happen by accident. It did not happen because the police suddenly became clever. It happened because truth has a heartbeat, and when its time comes, it demands to be spoken. That person tried to ignore it. They tried to sleep. They tried to distract themselves. But guilt is loud in the quiet hours of the night. And fear is louder when it knows it has reached its end. You may be wondering now, was I ever in danger? Listen to me gently. If I had allowed even a single step beyond what you could bear, you would have felt it clearly. I placed limits you never saw. I closed doors you never knew were opening. I redirected thoughts, delayed actions, and confused plans that were never meant to succeed. What could have escalated was restrained. What could have crossed a line was stopped. You were covered, not because you were perfect, but because you are mine. The confession spoke of things that had been happening quietly. Of moments when your soulmate felt watched without understanding why. Of discomfort that couldn't be explained. Of tension that seemed to appear for no logical reason. The neighbor admitted to knowing more than they should have known. To hearing conversations they shouldn't have heard. To sharing words that were never theirs to repeat. And most importantly, to allowing a story to form, a false story, that affected how your soulmate saw situations, people, and even themselves. My child, when confusion enters a connection, people often blame themselves. You did that, didn't you? You asked, what did I do wrong? You replayed conversations in your mind. You wondered if your timing was off, your words were wrong, your love was too much or too little. I want you to release that weight right now. That confusion was not born inside you. Some delays are not denials, they are protection. Some silence is not rejection, it is preparation. And some distance is not punishment, it is intervention. I allowed distance so exposure could happen without destruction. I allowed time so truth could surface without irreversible damage. If everything had been revealed too early, hearts would have shattered instead of healed. If everything had stayed hidden longer, confusion would have deepened. Timing matters, my child, and mine is precise. The confession is still unfolding. Not all details are public. Not all names have been spoken aloud yet. But what matters is this: the lie lost its grip the moment truth entered the room. And once truth is present, nothing false can survive comfortably. Your soulmate does not yet understand the full spiritual weight of what happened, but their soul already feels lighter. They may not have words for it. They may not connect it directly to you yet. But a pressure has lifted. A fog has thinned. A question that haunted them quietly has begun to dissolve. Do not rush them. Do not demand explanations. Do not reopen wounds that are still closing. Let me work. You are not called to investigate. You are not called to confront. You are not called to fix what is already being handled. Your role right now is simple but powerful: remain steady. Peace is your strength in this moment. I know your heart wants clarity immediately. I know your mind wants every detail, every reason, every confirmation. But clarity arrives best when hearts are calm, not anxious. What you need to know will come to you, not through panic, but through peace. This situation did not arise to scare you. It arose to free you. Sometimes, I allow unsettling truths to surface not to threaten love, but to protect it. Not to destroy connections, but to cleanse them. Love that survives exposure is love that can endure reality. And what is being removed now is what never belonged in your story to begin with. Hear me closely now. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not missing your destiny. What was interfering has been exposed. What was hidden is being handled. What was blocking clarity is losing its power. Tonight, when you lay your head down, do not replay fears. Instead, place your thoughts in my hands. Say quietly, I trust you. That sentence alone carries more power than you realize. The story is not over, it is being corrected. And this confession? This was only the beginning of truth stepping forward. Stay with me. More will be revealed, gently, safely, and at the right time. My child, now that the first layer of truth has been lifted, I want you to understand what was really happening behind doors you could not see and conversations you were never meant to hear. This is not to make you fearful. This is to make you free. For a long time, things felt slightly off, didn't they? Not wrong in an obvious way, but uneasy in a quiet way. Like walking into a room that looks normal, yet your heart tells you something is not aligned. Your soulmate felt it too. Small moments of discomfort. Sudden mood shifts. Thoughts that came from nowhere and refused to explain themselves. That was not weakness. That was intuition responding to interference. The person living next door did not start with bad intentions. This is important for you to understand. Darkness often begins as something small, something ignored, something justified. It began with listening too closely. With curiosity that crossed a line. With a desire to feel important in a life that felt empty. They heard pieces of conversations, fragments of emotion, half-truths without context. And instead of turning away, they held on to those fragments. When a heart is lonely and a mind is undisciplined, imagination fills the gaps. And imagination, when fueled by jealousy or resentment, becomes dangerous. They began to form opinions about your soulmate's life without ever being invited into it. They assumed motives. They twisted meanings. They told themselves stories that were not real but felt real to them. And slowly, quietly, they let those stories influence how they behaved, what they said, and what they allowed to continue. My child, understand this gently. Not everyone who smiles at your door wants peace in your house. Not everyone who appears neutral is harmless. Some people interfere not because they are evil, but because they are empty and do not know how to sit with that emptiness. The neighbor began sharing information they should have kept silent about. Not loudly. Not dramatically. But subtly. A sentence here. A suggestion there. A tone that planted doubt. They did not need to lie boldly, they only needed to shade the truth. And shaded truth can be more confusing than a clear lie. Your soulmate trusted the environment around them. Why wouldn't they? Familiar streets. Familiar faces. Routine days. They never imagined that someone so close could quietly influence how situations were perceived. That is why confusion lingered without a clear source. That is why explanations never fully satisfied. That is why emotional distance appeared without a clear argument to point to. You may be realizing something now. Moments that didn't make sense before are connecting. Times when your soulmate pulled back suddenly. Times when misunderstandings escalated too quickly. Times when you felt blamed for something you didn't do. My child, I want you to release the belief that you caused those moments. You responded to confusion that was planted, not created by you. You loved honestly inside a situation that was being quietly distorted. I allowed this to continue only as long as necessary for exposure without collapse. There is a limit to everything, even to interference. When the line was crossed, when thoughts turned darker, when fear began replacing curiosity, I intervened. That is when pressure began to build in that neighbor's heart. They could no longer control their thoughts. Sleep became difficult. Guilt surfaced unexpectedly. Fear of being discovered grew heavier each day. This is how truth works, my child. It does not shout at first. It presses. It tightens. It waits. The police confession was not only about actions, it was about relief. A desperate need to unload a burden that had become unbearable. They spoke because silence had become too painful. And in speaking, they exposed not only themselves, but the hidden source of confusion around your soulmate. You were protected even in the moments you felt unsure. I shielded conversations. I blocked escalation. I softened outcomes. What could have turned into lasting damage was restrained. What could have turned into fear was reduced to discomfort. That was not chance. That was care. Now, something important is happening inside your soulmate. They may not yet know all the facts, but clarity is beginning to replace confusion. Their thoughts are slowing down. Emotional reactions are less sharp. They are starting to question assumptions they once accepted without realizing it. This is the beginning of mental freedom. Do not be surprised if they revisit old memories with new eyes. Do not be alarmed if they grow quiet for a while. Silence is not distance right now, it is processing. Truth needs space to settle before it can be understood. And you, my child, are being asked to do something powerful in this season. Do nothing impulsive. Resist the urge to explain everything at once. Resist the urge to demand clarity immediately. Resist the urge to relive pain just to feel validated. Validation is coming, but it will come gently, not dramatically. I know your heart wants acknowledgement. I know you want your soulmate to see how unfair certain moments were for you. That desire is human. But healing conversations require the right timing. When truth is still landing, pressure only creates resistance. Trust that I am working in spaces you cannot access. What was hidden is no longer controlling the narrative. What was whispered in the dark has lost its power. What was confusing your connection is being dismantled piece by piece. This does not mean everything becomes perfect overnight. Healing is not instant, it is intentional. But now, healing is finally possible because truth is present. I want you to notice something over the coming days. A subtle shift. A softness. A willingness to listen. A reduction in defensiveness. These are signs that interference is fading. You did not imagine the struggle. You did not exaggerate the pain. And you were not weak for feeling it deeply. You were discerning. Hold your peace now. Peace is not silence, it is strength under control. Your calm will speak louder than explanations ever could. This story is still unfolding, but the direction has changed. What was once working against you is now working for your release. And what tried to remain hidden has already stepped into the light. Stay steady. Stay open. Stay trusting. The deeper truth is still coming, and when it does, it will bring healing, not harm. My child, now we come to the moment where truth no longer hides behind fragments and shadows, but begins to stand whole. This is the part where many hearts tremble, not because truth is cruel, but because it changes everything it touches. What was confessed was not small. It was not accidental. And it was not meaningless. The words spoken in that room carried weight, not only legal weight, but spiritual weight. The confession explained patterns that once felt random. It put names to feelings that once felt confusing. And as those words were spoken, something invisible but powerful broke. For a long time, your soulmate lived under a quiet cloud of doubt. Not doubt about love, but doubt about reality. Doubt about motives. Doubt about timing. Doubt about what was being felt versus what was being shown. That kind of doubt is exhausting, my child. It drains the heart without leaving visible scars. And the hardest part is this. When doubt is planted by someone close, it feels trustworthy, even when it is not true. The neighbor admitted to influencing perspectives. Not always with direct statements, but with questions designed to lead. With comments designed to plant suspicion. With concerns that were never requested. They admitted to presenting themselves as neutral while quietly shaping how situations were interpreted. My child, this is why confusion lingered even when love was real. When truth is constantly being interrupted by outside voices, the heart begins to mistrust itself. And when the heart mistrusts itself, it pulls away, not because it wants distance, but because it wants safety. Your soulmate pulled away at times not because love faded, but because certainty was under attack. As the confession unfolded, details emerged that made even the officers pause. The neighbor described how they kept mental notes. How they remembered schedules. How they paid attention to moods. How they connected dots that were never meant to be connected. They spoke of how they felt involved in a story that was never theirs to enter. This is hard to hear, I know. But listen without fear. Not all obsession looks violent. Some obsession looks quiet, helpful, concerned, and observant. And that is what makes it dangerous, because it hides in normality. The confession included moments where your name was mentioned indirectly. Not because you were involved, but because you were discussed. Analyzed. Assumed. Your intentions were interpreted without ever being asked. Your silence was misread. Your actions were filtered through someone else's insecurity. My child, this is where I need you to hear something deeply. You were judged without being known. And yet, even in that, I protected your essence. I did not allow lies to fully root. I allowed just enough tension to bring exposure, but not enough to destroy what matters. When your soulmate began to hear what was really said, what was really implied, and how often outside influence played a role, something shifted inside them. Not anger at first, shock. A quiet, heavy realization. The understanding that many emotional reactions were based on incomplete or distorted information. This is why I tell you, healing begins with truth, but truth arrives in layers. Your soulmate is now revisiting moments that once caused arguments. Replaying conversations with new understanding. Asking themselves questions they never thought to ask before. And in those questions, guilt may arise, not because they wanted to hurt you, but because they realized they may have misunderstood you. Be gentle when that happens. Guilt, when met with patience, becomes growth. Guilt, when met with accusation, becomes defensiveness. I am not asking you to silence your pain forever. I am asking you to allow healing to complete its work. The confession also revealed something important. The neighbor did not act alone in thought, but alone in responsibility. No one else was responsible for their behavior. This means the confusion was not widespread, it was localized. It had a source. And now that source has been identified. This is powerful, my child. Because once the source is known, the mind stops blaming itself. You may already feel lighter. Or maybe you feel emotional without knowing why. Tears may come unexpectedly. Let them come. Release is holy. For too long, you carried questions that had no answers. You blamed yourself for emotional distance that was never fully yours to carry. You wondered if loving deeply made you vulnerable in the wrong way. Now hear me clearly, your love was not the problem. Your honesty was not the weakness. Your sensitivity was not the flaw. What happened was interference. And interference has an expiration date. As truth continues to settle, conversations will change. The tone will soften. Defensive walls will lower. Your soulmate may not immediately say, "I was wrong," but their actions will begin to reflect understanding. That is how healing often speaks first, through behavior, not words. Do not rush to remind them of the past. Let the present heal it. There will come a moment, and it will come naturally, when acknowledgement happens. When clarity is spoken out loud. When emotional responsibility is taken. That moment cannot be forced, but it also cannot be avoided. I am already guiding it. Justice is not only about consequences, it is about correction. And correction is happening in hearts, not just in records. The truth that came out did not come to shame anyone. It came to restore balance. To remove fog. To return choice to where it belongs. And now, my child, you stand at a threshold. Behind you is confusion that no longer defines you. Before you is clarity that will reshape how love is experienced. You do not need to prove your worth. You do not need to defend your heart. You do not need to fight for understanding. Understanding is finding you. Stay grounded. Stay compassionate. Stay open. The truth has spoken, and it is still speaking. My child, now the weight begins to shift. What once felt heavy starts to loosen its grip, and what once confused you begins to make sense in a quieter, deeper way. This is the season of balance, not loud justice, not dramatic endings, but steady correction. And steady correction lasts. You may have expected justice to arrive like a storm, with loud consequences and clear lines drawn in front of everyone. But most of my justice does not shout. It restores. It rearranges. It places things back into their rightful position so peace can return without fear. The confession set many things in motion, both seen and unseen. On the surface, procedures began. Questions were asked. Boundaries were established. But beneath all of that, something more important happened: authority shifted. The person who once held quiet influence over perceptions no longer has access to the narrative. Their words no longer shape reality. Their presence no longer holds power. That alone is justice. You do not need revenge. You do not need confrontation. You do not need validation from those who interfered. When balance is restored, truth speaks for itself. Your soulmate is beginning to feel safer in their own thoughts. This may look like calm, or silence, or a sudden desire to change routines. Do not misread this. Safety invites reflection. Reflection invites healing. They are noticing how much tension they carried without realizing it. They are recognizing how often they second-guessed their own instincts. And in that recognition, they are reclaiming trust in themselves. This is important, my child, because love cannot fully return until self-trust is restored. Justice is not only about what happens to the one who interfered. It is about what is returned to the ones who were affected. And what is being returned now is clarity, peace, and emotional stability. You may feel a strange mixture of relief and exhaustion. Relief because the truth is out. Exhaustion because your body and spirit are finally letting go of what they held tightly for so long. This is normal. Rest is not weakness, it is recovery. Allow yourself to slow down. Allow yourself to feel safe again. Allow your heart to breathe. I am closing doors that should never have been open. I am placing distance where closeness was unhealthy. And I am strengthening boundaries that will not be crossed again. Your soulmate may become more protective of their space now. More aware of who they listen to. More selective with what they share. This is not isolation, it is wisdom being formed through experience. And you, my child, are also changing. You are learning the difference between patience and self-abandonment. You are learning that peace is not passive, it is intentional. You are learning that you do not have to prove your sincerity to be deserving of trust. There will be moments when old emotions try to resurface. Memories may replay. Questions may rise again. When that happens, do not panic. Simply remind yourself, the source has been removed. What once fed confusion no longer exists in your present. Justice has also brought closure in ways you may not notice immediately. Certain arguments will no longer happen. Certain triggers will no longer activate. Certain fears will lose their power. This is how healing confirms itself, quietly. The person who interfered will face the consequences necessary for their growth and accountability. But that is not your concern. Your concern is the life being rebuilt without their influence. You are stepping into a space where love is no longer monitored, distorted, or interfered with. A space where emotions can exist without being analyzed by outside eyes. A space where connection can grow naturally again. This is sacred ground. I am restoring what was delayed. Not by forcing speed, but by removing obstacles. What flows freely does not need to rush. Trust the pace now. Trust the quiet. Trust the stability forming beneath your feet. Justice has done its work, and now healing is completing it. One more step remains. And it leads not back to fear, but forward into peace. My child, this is the moment where the story no longer feels heavy. This is where what once frightened you becomes a testimony of protection, and what once confused you becomes a foundation of wisdom. The chapter that began in secrecy ends in safety, and the season that tested your heart now releases it. Hear me carefully now, because these words are not just comfort, they are a promise. The danger is over. What lived next door no longer lives near your future. What once had access to your soulmate's environment has been removed from influence, from proximity, and from power. The space around your connection has been cleared, not only physically but spiritually. Peace has been restored where tension once quietly lived. You may notice that breathing feels easier now. That your thoughts settle faster. That your heart no longer feels like it must stay alert all the time. This is not coincidence. This is the result of protection completing its work. Your soulmate is changing, not into someone unfamiliar, but into someone freer. Without constant outside pressure, their true nature is resurfacing. You may see warmth where there was caution. Openness where there was defensiveness. Presence where there was distraction. Let this unfold naturally. Do not measure healing by how quickly words are spoken. Measure it by how safely silence is shared. Peaceful silence is one of the greatest signs that fear has lost its grip. I am placing a new kind of guard over this connection now. Not one built on walls, but one built on awareness. You and your soulmate will sense when something is not aligned long before it can cause harm. Discernment has been sharpened. Boundaries have been strengthened. Trust is being rebuilt on truth, not assumption. This experience did not weaken your bond, it refined it. Love that survives interference becomes wiser. Love that endures confusion becomes clearer. Love that is protected through exposure becomes unshakable. You are stepping into a chapter where love is no longer questioned, but chosen. Where emotions are not second-guessed, but honored. Where communication is no longer filtered through fear, but grounded in understanding. There will be conversations ahead, gentle ones. Honest ones. Healing ones. They will not reopen wounds, they will close them. They will not accuse, they will acknowledge. And when those conversations happen, you will feel something settle deep inside you, a sense of being finally seen. My child, I know you waited. I know you endured silence that hurt. I know you stayed soft in moments that tempted you to harden. That did not go unnoticed. Your patience protected what impulsiveness could have damaged. Your restraint allowed truth to surface without destruction. Your faith kept you steady while I worked behind the scenes. Now I am blessing this connection with peace, not fragile peace, but lasting peace. The kind that does not break at the first misunderstanding. The kind that does not crumble under outside voices. The kind that grows stronger with time. Release the last traces of fear now. You no longer need them. What is ahead of you does not require constant defense, it requires presence. Stand confidently in this new beginning. Trust what is unfolding. Let joy return without suspicion. Let hope rise without restraint. I am with you. I have been with you. And I will remain with you. What was meant to harm did not succeed. What was meant to confuse did not prevail. What was meant to delay did not deny. Your future is safe. Your love is protected. Your heart is at peace. Rest now, my child. This chapter is complete, and a gentler, brighter one begins. My child, even after a chapter closes, there are still gentle words I want to place into your heart, because healing does not stop at relief, it matures into wisdom, strength, and quiet confidence. This is the part where you stop looking back to understand pain and start looking forward to understand purpose. You have been through something that could have hardened you, but it did not. Instead, it softened you in the right places and strengthened you where you needed roots. That is rare. Many people survive confusion, but few come out with clarity and compassion still intact. You did not lose yourself while waiting for truth, and that is why your future will be built on stability, not fear. I want you to understand something very important now. Not every battle in your life was meant to be fought with words. Some were meant to be endured with trust. And you did that, even when you didn't realize it. When you stayed silent instead of reacting, when you prayed instead of confronting, when you waited instead of forcing, you allowed me space to work in ways that confrontation never could. What you experienced has trained your discernment. From now on, you will feel misalignment earlier. You will sense when something is off before it grows teeth. You will not need proof to honor your intuition, you will trust it. This is not paranoia, this is maturity. Your soulmate is also learning this lesson. They are realizing how easily external voices can influence internal peace if boundaries are not protected. This awareness will make them more grounded, more present, and more intentional. You may notice that they speak less impulsively now, listen more carefully, and choose words with greater care. That is not distance, that is growth. Do not rush to return to how things used to be. What is forming now is better than what was before. The old version of the connection carried innocence but lacked protection. The new version carries both love and wisdom. Innocence alone is vulnerable, wisdom alone is cold. But together, they create a bond that can withstand reality. There will be moments ahead when you remember how easily things were misunderstood in the past. In those moments, do not let fear convince you that it will happen again. The conditions that allowed confusion no longer exist. The environment has changed. The awareness has changed. And most importantly, you have changed. You are no longer waiting to be chosen, you know your worth. You are no longer over-explaining, you trust truth to stand on its own. You are no longer shrinking, you are rooted. My child, you are entering a season where peace becomes your default, not something you have to fight for. Relationships will feel simpler. Conversations will feel lighter. Decisions will feel clearer. This is not because life becomes perfect, but because your inner world is no longer crowded by unnecessary noise. I am also removing your attraction to chaos. Situations that once pulled you emotionally will now feel draining instead of exciting. You will crave calm. You will protect your energy. You will choose consistency over intensity. This is a sign of healing, not boredom. Let go of the idea that love must be dramatic to be real. Let go of the belief that uncertainty equals passion. What you are moving into is steady, safe, and sincere. There may be days when your mind tries to replay the past, not out of pain, but out of habit. When that happens, gently redirect yourself to the present. Say to yourself, "That season taught me. This season holds me." And breathe. You do not need to warn yourself constantly anymore. You do not need to stay guarded. You do not need to stay alert for danger that has already passed. I am building something long-term in your life. Not just in love, but in identity. The way you handled this situation with grace has aligned you with deeper blessings. Doors will open for you that require emotional stability. Opportunities will come that require discernment. Connections will form that require trust. And you are ready. What tried to disturb you unknowingly prepared you. Now, I want to speak peace directly into your nights. No more overthinking before sleep. No more replaying conversations. No more wondering what you missed. Lay your head down knowing that nothing hidden remains in control. The truth has already done its work. You may feel gratitude rising in unexpected moments, not gratitude for the pain, but gratitude for the protection. Let that gratitude flow. It will attract more peace into your life. Your future connection, whether it deepens with the same soulmate or matures into its next expression, will be built on honesty, transparency, and mutual respect. You will not have to compete with outside voices. You will not have to question where you stand. You will not have to beg for clarity. This is your new normal. My child, I am proud of how you trusted me when you didn't have answers. I am proud of how you stayed kind when it would have been easier to become cold. I am proud of how you waited without losing faith in love. Now, step forward without fear. Love without suspicion. Live without looking over your shoulder. I am still guiding you. I am still protecting you. And I am still unfolding good things ahead of you. What is coming will not confuse you. It will confirm you. Rest in that truth. My child, let me stay with you a little longer, because some truths are not meant to be rushed. They are meant to be absorbed slowly, like light entering a room that has been dark for a long time. You are standing in that room now. Your eyes are adjusting. Your heart is learning that it no longer has to brace itself. I know something still lingers inside you, not fear, not pain exactly, but a quiet question. A question that asks, how did I survive something I didn't even fully understand? The answer is simple, yet deep. You survived because you were guided even when you felt unsure. You were protected even when you felt exposed. You were led even when the path felt unclear. There were moments when you sensed something was wrong but had no proof. Moments when your intuition whispered while logic argued. Moments when you felt torn between trusting your heart and doubting yourself. That inner conflict was not weakness. It was your spirit trying to stay aligned in an environment that was not clean. I want you to stop judging yourself for those moments now. You did the best you could with the information you had. You responded with honesty inside a distorted situation. That already tells me who you are. Many people, when faced with confusion, choose control. They demand answers, push for reactions, force clarity before it is ready. You chose endurance. You chose patience. You chose to wait rather than wound. That choice spared you from carrying regret later. My child, restraint is one of the most misunderstood forms of strength. Now that the interference is gone, you may feel something unfamiliar: stability. And oddly, stability can feel uncomfortable at first to a heart that has lived in tension. Your body may still expect sudden shifts. Your mind may still scan for danger. Be gentle with yourself as this unlearning happens. You are not broken for needing time to trust peace. Peace is not passive. It is learned safety. Your soulmate is also unlearning. They are realizing how much noise surrounded their thoughts. How many decisions were influenced subtly. How often they reacted from confusion instead of clarity. This realization may bring moments of regret for them, not dramatic regret, but quiet heaviness. If you sense that, do not interpret it as distance. It is accountability forming. True accountability does not announce itself loudly. It shows up as changed behavior, softened tone, deeper listening, and a desire to do better without being asked. You will see these signs. And when you do, allow them to count. I am teaching both of you a new rhythm now, one where trust is built slowly, not assumed quickly. One where communication is clean, not crowded by outside voices. One where love is not reactive, but responsive. This rhythm will feel calmer. Do not mistake calm for lack of depth. Depth does not always roar. Sometimes it rests. There will come a moment when you realize you are no longer replaying the past. When a memory surfaces and does not sting. When a trigger fails to trigger. When a thought that once caused anxiety now passes quietly through you. That moment will tell you healing has taken root. You are not meant to be the person you were before this experience. You are meant to be wiser, steadier, and more anchored. And you are becoming that, naturally, without forcing. I am also realigning your expectations. You will no longer romanticize emotional instability. You will no longer chase intensity disguised as connection. You will value consistency, safety, and respect more than dramatic gestures. This will change the kind of people you allow close to you. Some may fall away. Some may feel distant. That is not loss, that is refinement. What aligns with peace will stay. What feeds chaos will fade. My child, you are entering a season where your nervous system heals alongside your heart. Your body will feel the difference. Sleep will become deeper. Decisions will feel clearer. Your reactions will soften. This is how you know restoration is real, it shows up physically. You no longer need to prepare for disappointment. You no longer need to anticipate misunderstanding. You no longer need to over-explain your intentions. Your presence will speak. I want to speak now about forgiveness, because it is often misunderstood. Forgiveness does not mean minimizing what happened. It does not mean allowing access again. It does not mean pretending it didn't affect you. Forgiveness means releasing yourself from carrying what is no longer yours to carry. You do not forgive to free others, you forgive to free your future. The one who interfered does not get to live in your mind rent-free. Their role in your story is complete. They were a lesson, not a destiny. Close that door gently and completely. As for your soulmate, there will be rebuilding, not from broken love, but from shaken trust. Trust rebuilt after truth is stronger than trust that was never tested. It has roots. Allow time to do what explanations cannot. You may notice that you are less reactive now. Less triggered by silence. Less anxious about delays. Less fearful of pauses. This is growth. This is what it looks like when safety replaces uncertainty. I am proud of how far you have come. You did not become bitter. You did not become manipulative. You did not become closed. You stayed soft, and softness, when protected by wisdom, is power. From here forward, your life will feel more intentional. You will choose environments carefully. You will trust your inner signals. You will no longer ignore discomfort just to keep peace. You will create peace by honoring truth. This will bless not only your love life, but every area of your life. My child, let me assure you one final time in this moment, nothing like this will catch you unaware again. Not because you will be suspicious, but because you are aware. Awareness is the greatest protection. Walk forward now with confidence. Love with calm. Speak with clarity. Rest without fear. I am still guiding you. Quietly, faithfully, constantly. And what lies ahead will not require survival. It will invite you to live.